Section 5.3, we're going to solve linear systems by elimination. All right, so what do you think of when you hear the word eliminate?
Disqualify.
Disqualify. Execute. Get rid of, right? Like make it disappear. Okay. Kill. All right, yeah, that works too. Okay, so to solve linear systems by elimination. All right, so if I'm trying to eliminate or if I'm eliminating, that means I'm looking for one of the variables to be the opposite of the other one. Okay, so with elimination, you are going to add the equations together. Okay, you're going to add the equations together. All right, so, okay. So here's system number 1. All right, so we're always going to add the equations together. All right, so which variable, x or y, is the opposite of each other? Which one? X is an opposite. Positive 3y and negative 3y. Does everybody see that? It's the positive and the negative. So when I say 3y plus negative 3y, we agree that that would cancel. They're opposites. So now you're going to bring everything else down. You're going to add the other terms together. X plus x is what? 2x. Negative 2 plus 16 is what?
14.
What's negative 2 plus 16?
14.
2 of you. Negative 2 plus 16? 14. Okay, so some of the problem is that some of you guys are still really struggling with integers and adding. Okay, we're not going to rely on our calculators for that math. All right, so negative 2 plus 16 is 14. Now we divide both sides by 2 to solve for x, and x equals 7. Okay, now that I have my x value, the second step is similar to what we did for substitution. You're going to take the value for x, and you can either plug it back into the first equation for x, or you can plug it back into the second equation for x. All right, now here's my suggestion. If you're plugging in for x and solving for y, right, don't plug it back in to the term that has the negative connected to y, because you don't want a negative connected to your variable. All right, now technically it doesn't matter either way, just sometimes it makes it a little more complicated. All right, so we're going to use the first equation. You're going to plug 7 in for x and rewrite the equation. So all we're doing is substituting it back in. 7 plus 3y equals negative 2. All right, so we plug our value for x back into one of the original equations so that we can now solve for y. All right, so Isaac, what would I do next? I want to solve for y. What would be my next step?
You gotta subtract the negative 2 by 7.
Okay, I need to subtract 7 from both sides. Is that what you guys were thinking? Did anybody already write that on your paper? Okay, so subtract 7 from both sides. And you get 3y equals negative 9. Negative 9. Now divide both sides by 3. And y equals negative 3. Y equals negative 3. Lila?
Wouldn't it be positive then?
It's not going to be positive because there's only one negative. Now, that's not your final answer, though. What? 9's negative.
There's 2 negatives.
There's not 2 negatives. There's only 1 negative.
Huh?
3 is positive.
It's negative 2 and negative 7. That's 2 negatives.
That's add and keep. That's add and keep. That's your other rules. You're subtracting there. When you're dividing and multiplying, you're getting your rules mixed up. Okay? You're subtracting, Lila. It's same sign, add and keep. You add them and you keep the negative. Okay? All right. Put them together. What is your answer? 7 and negative 3. 7 and negative 3. All right. So now let's do the next one. Okay? So I want you to look at the system. I want you to cross out which variables are opposite. Go ahead and do that right now, Colin. Come on. All right. Okay, cross out which variables are opposite. Which ones did you notice that are opposite? The negative y and the positive y. Negative 1y plus y cancels out. You can only solve for one variable at a time, so that's really nice. The y's cancel out, and now I can bring everything else down. Okay, what's 2x plus 4x? 6x. What is 9 plus 21? 30. Okay, now I want you to finish solving for x. Go ahead and finish solving for x. Divide both sides by 6. Did you get x equals 5? Okay, so x equals 5. Now what do you do? What do you do now? Rome, wake up. Come on. Heads up. All right, plug it back in. Now watch this, guys. So this is where you really could mess up, okay, depending on which one you plug it back into. If you do the first one, you have a negative 1y. You cannot have a negative y, so you're going to have to do an extra step. Versus if you plug it back into the second one that has a positive y that you're solving for, you're not going to run into that problem. Okay? So when you plug it back in and you solve for the other one, choose the one with the positive. Okay? If that's an option. All right? So we're going to use the second one. 4 times 5 plus y equals 21. Now, if you plugged it back into the first one, you still could get the right answer. You just have one more step, okay? And that step is often overlooked. What do you do next? Josh, what do you think you're going to do next to solve for y? Yeah, so 4 times 5 is 20. All right, and then Taylor, what do I do last? What's my last step? Graham.
You're going to subtract 20 on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Subtract 20 on both sides. So what does y equal, guys? 1. Y equals 1. All right, so I put it together in an ordered pair. 5 and 1. All right, any questions, guys? Did the second one go a little better? Are you guys kind of seeing the steps here? To me, this is a little bit easier than substitution. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about when you use substitution and when you use elimination. There's some ways that you can tell basically which one you need to use. All right, any questions here? Y'all have any questions? Okay, so we're going to do another one. All right, I'm going to kind of pause here for a minute. I'm going to walk around and check on you guys. I want to see how far you can get on this problem. Use the first 2 problems that we just went over to help you. All right, so I'm going to walk around and check on you guys. Did you notice that your X is canceled? Okay, your X is canceled. Pay attention. I know we took a few minutes on this one. Overall, your notes look okay. It's not perfect, but I feel like we are kind of getting the hang of it. Now, one thing that I saw a lot of people missed. What is in front of the negative y? A 1. This is negative 1y. So what's 3 minus 1? 2y equals 2. Divide both sides by 2 and y equals 1. Okay, so now y equals 1, you have to plug it back in to solve for x. Well, you don't want to have a negative x here that you have to solve for. So I'm not plugging it back into the second one. I'm going to plug it back into the first equation. Remember, you can do either or. All right, so x plus 3 times 1, you could probably do that in your head, equals 5. X plus 3 equals 5. Y'all better not get this wrong. Subtract 3, x equals 2.
Don't tell me you got that wrong.
All right, x equals 2. The equation cannot get any simpler than that, guys. Okay, it really cannot. All right, 2 and 1 is my ordered pair solution. 2 and 1. Okay? All right, any questions? Any questions? All right, we've got one more. Who got that right? Anybody get that right?
I got the first part right.
Okay, got the first part right. See where you went wrong on the second part?
Yeah.
All right. Come on, guys. If you did the second equation, you had an extra step. And more than likely, that's where the mistake was made. All right. Last equation. I want everybody on their own with this. When you're finished and your buddy's finished, I want you guys to compare your answers. We're looking for everyone to get this question right. Okay? Your two y's are opposite. Okay? Remember, you are adding the system. You're adding the equations. 4x equals negative 4. Divide both sides by 4. And x equals negative 1. All right, now I need to solve for y. So my preference is to use the equation that has a positive y value. I don't like dealing with negatives. It opens me up to make a mistake. Okay, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say 3 times negative 1. Where did that come from? I plugged in negative 1 4x. Okay, plus 2y equals 3. Negative 3 plus 2y equals positive 3.
I want to go over there.
Okay?
They're having a party.
It's her birthday.
Okay.
Okay, so put a heart around 2y. What do you do next, guys? We're almost done. Add 3 to both sides. 2y equals 6. Divide by 2. And y equals 3. If you made a mistake, do you see where you messed up? Lila, stop doing that.
I'm erasing it.
Did you draw on it?
Wait.
Okay.
Don't change it.
I'm not changing it. All right, so my answer is negative 1 and 3. That's my answer. All right, so for today, we solved using elimination, okay, when I had an opposite in the equation. Tomorrow, you don't have opposites in the initial equation, but you're going to change one of the equations, and I'll show you how to do that tomorrow. Okay, so for today, it was kind of the easy way where I already had opposites. And that's it for part 1.